Dobrý den, vítejte u nového videa. Welcome to my new video. This video was created with the help of all of you. Recently I asked you if you have any suggestions about false friends between English and Czech. And I got some interesting tips and observations. False friends are common in every language, and when we take English and Czech into consideration, there will be always some words that either sound very, very similar or look similar, if not identical, yet they mean different things, sometimes very different things. They're false friends because they could misguide you. You would be thinking, oh, I know this word, it must mean this. And then you're surprised, sometimes even years later, it's not like that. For example, the word chef is one of them. Chef is not chef. And when we look at this from the other side, Czechs could also be confused with this word when they speak English. They could say, my chef is not in the office today. For today's video, I picked 11 words that could easily be mistaken with another word that looks similar in English. Jdeme na to! Dobrý den, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. I separated these 11 words into two categories, more or less. First, we're going to take a look at words that sound similar. When you glance at them, they might not look the same, but once you pronounce them, they could give you the impression that they must mean the same thing in both languages, English and Czech. The first word, as I mentioned already, is chef in Czech. Chef. Before I tell you what it is, and maybe you already know what it is, let me tell you a short sentence in Czech. To je můj šéf. To je můj šéf. That's my what? It's not my chef, that's my boss. To je můj šéf, that's my boss. Chef is a boss. If you want to say chef, like the head cook, in Czech you would say šéf kuchař. The head cook, šéf kuchař, šéf kuchař. So remember, chef is not chef. Chef is boss. And if you want to say the chef that cooks, that would be šéf kuchař. Our next word is stůl. Stůl is a very common word. But if you're new to the language, you could say stůl must be a stool for sitting, or the other stool. If you hear stůl pro dva, something for two. Stůl pro dva is a table for two. You come into a restaurant and you say, poprosím o stůl pro dva. A table for two, please. So remember, stůl is not a stool. And if you want to translate a stool into Czech, it would be stolice for both things. The one for sitting and the one that, you know. Our next word is ačkoli. I actually didn't think about this before, but it does sound like actually. If you hear it in a conversation, blah, 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 ačkoli, blah, 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 you could think, oh, they are saying actually. Let me give you an example. Šli jsme do muzea, ačkoli mě vůbec nezajímají. Šli jsme do muzea, ačkoli mě vůbec nezajímají. Here, ačkoli means although. It's a little bit more formal, but still pretty common. So we went to the museum, although I'm not interested in them at all. Ačkoli mě vůbec nezajímají. Remember, ačkoli is not actually, and if you want to translate actually, it would be something like vlastně. And we will also talk about actually a little bit later in this video. One more word, actually a phrase, that is something that you can hear anywhere. As soon as you get off the plane, you would probably hear people around you when they're having a conversation, they would say faktio, faktio, faktio. And I'm even pronouncing the T. Usually when people speak quickly, they would not pronounce the T, they would just say fakio. So it's nothing vulgar at all. Imagine two friends are talking. One says, víš, že se Jana vdala? And the other one answers, fakio. So what are they saying? Víš, že se Jana vdala? Do you know that Jana got married? And the response is, oh, really? Really? Fakt, jo. Fakt is a fact or really. And we love to use this phrase. It means like for real. It's very informal and extremely common in a conversation. Fakt, jo. And people would usually not pronounce the T, so it would be fakio. Sometimes you can just hear fakt. Fakt or fakt, meaning really, for real. Now let's go over 6 words that look similar. They might sound a little bit different, but when you see them written, you could assume they mean something similar in English, if not the same. Some of them actually are identical. We will start with the word host. The Czech word host is not a host. For example, you're asking, kdy dorazí náš host? When will our someone arrive? You're not asking when will our host arrive. You're asking when will our guest arrive. Guest. Host is a guest. Kdy dorazí náš host? When will our guest arrive? And remember, we pronounce it host. Oh, host is a guest. And if you want to say a host in Czech, that would be hostitel, ten hostitel jako muž, nebo ta hostitelka, žena. Hostitel, a man host, hostitelka, a woman host, hostess. I don't mean the hostess that works at some kind of an event, who takes care of the guest, welcoming them, offering them some promotion items. That would be hosteska. Now this one, Island, but spelled exactly like an island. Also, Island is spelled with a capital I. So if someone tells you, chci jet na Island, it doesn't mean that they want to go to any island. They want to go to a specific island, a country, and that is Iceland. Island is Iceland. And if you want to say island, any island, that would be ostrov. So remember, Island, česky, Island is Iceland. And an island is ostrov. Another word is no, which is not no, and it's pronounced no, or sometimes no. It can have several meanings, but none of those meanings means a negation, no. For example, you ask a child, to si malovala sama? And the girl answers, no. Well, if she nods, then you would be confused. What is wrong with her? To si malovala sama? Did you paint it yourself? And the answer is yeah. No means yeah. It's an informal way of affirming that something is true. Also, if someone calls your name, Honzo, no, yeah. And another common meaning of no is when you want to say, well, no. If you say, no, asi je to jinak. Well, it's probably a different case. It's probably different. No, asi je to jinak. There are more uses of no. If you would like, I could make a separate video about this. Just let me know. Our next word is aktuální or aktuálně. Aktuální has nothing to do with actual. And the Czech people love to use this incorrectly in English. They would say the actual news and the actual president, and they don't mean real, they mean something else. If you're listening to the news and they say, a teď nás čekají aktuální zprávy z regionu. Aktuální zprávy, those are not actual news, those are current news, the latest news. And now we have the latest news from the region. Teď nás čekají aktuální zprávy z regionu. So careful. Aktuální means current or up to date, the latest. And if you want to say actual, you could use the word opravdový, like real. It would be the same case with the adverb aktuálně, currently. And if you want to say actually, it would be vlastně. And there is another confusing adverb. Eventuálně is not eventually. Udělám to dnes, eventuálně zítra. Eventuálně means possibly. I'll do it today, possibly tomorrow. Udělám to dnes, eventuálně zítra. It's a little formal, but some people tend to use it in their conversations every day. So remember, eventuálně is not eventually. Eventuálně means possibly, potentially. And if you want to say eventually, you could say something like nakonec, in the end. Our next word is hypotéka. Hypotéka came from the ancient Greek, and it's not hypothetical. Hypotéka is something to do with a house, not a hypothetical house, although you could say that house is hypothetically yours. I don't want to confuse you. So if someone says, mají dům na hypotéku. They're not talking about a hypothetical house. They want to say that they have a house on a mortgage. Mají dům na hypotéku, meaning those people are paying mortgage. We would say mít dům na hypotéku. Here I use the accusative case. Na hypotéku. Remember, hypotéka is a mortgage. And if you want to say hypothetic, it would be hypotetický, or hypothetically, it would be hypoteticky. Hypoteticky. And our last word is also very confusing. Gymnázium. Gymnázium has nothing to do with exercise, or not with the physical exercise. Gymnázium is not gymnasium, is not gym. Gymnázium is a high school, a special high school that prepares you for a university. If someone says, chodím na gymnázium, that person doesn't say that they go to gym. It means, I attend high school. Chodím na gymnázium. I also had a video a few months ago where I talk about a couple of loan words that end in UM, and gymnasium was one of them. So gymnasium can be translated as a high school, academic high school, or in British you also say grammar school. Remember, gymnasium is academic high school. And if you want to say gymnasium, as in gym, you would say posilovna. Now let's practice with an exercise. I simplified this. I wanted to make it a fun experience, so you don't have to worry about different cases. We will just use the base forms that I introduced today. Take a look at these 6 sentences and complete each sentence with one of these false friends that I showed you today. Pause the video. Jdeme na to. Číslo 1. Island je neuvěřitelná země. Iceland is an incredible country. Island. Číslo 2. Počkej, až přijde šéf. Or it could also be počkej, až přijde šéf. Wait until the boss comes. Počkej, až přijde šéf. Číslo 3. Je hypotéka vůbec výhodná? Is a mortgage even worth it? Je hypotéka vůbec výhodná? Číslo 4. This is from a recipe. Přidáme sůl, eventuálně bylinky. We'll add salt, possibly some herbs. Přidáme sůl, eventuálně bylinky. Číslo 5. Budeme mluvit na aktuální témata. We'll talk about current topics. Current. Budeme mluvit na aktuální témata. A číslo 6. V neděli k nám přijde vzácný host. On Sunday we'll have a special guest coming. Vzácný host, a special guest. Tak a teď už je to fakt všechno. Now that's all for real. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'm sure you have some other ideas, some other words that confused you. Feel free to write a comment so we all learn from this. Mějte se moc krásně a uvidíme se za týden. Ahoj!